Chapter 3: The Challenges of Space Travel. Why is space travel so difficult? Why is it impossible for humans and other living creatures to survive on their own beyond Earth's atmosphere? Within the Earth's atmosphere and close to the planet's surface, we have oxygen and stable temperatures. We also have gravity, which is the force that ties us to the Earth's center and prevents us from floating away. As we rise higher into the atmosphere, the air becomes thinner and thinner. Temperatures become more unstable and extreme. And as we eventually leave Earth's atmosphere, there is no gravity anymore to hold us down. Spacecraft, too, rely on gravity to keep them in orbit around the Earth. Orbit means to go around and around. Without gravity, a craft flying beyond the atmosphere and into space would simply drift away into the cosmos and disappear. This means that space travel through a spacecraft requires a number of conditions, including the ship has to be able to defy gravity within the atmosphere and to fly upward, but then compensate for the lack of gravity once it reaches space. The ship has to withstand extremes of temperature and other hostile conditions. The ship, and also the spacesuits worn by those aboard it, has to provide an Earth-like environment inside, including oxygen, stable temperatures, and so forth. The history of rockets. A rocket is required to carry anything or anyone away from Earth and into space. It has to be able to lift itself off and reach optimal speed quickly in order to defy gravity and reach space. Here are some milestones in the history of rockets before the space race. In the 9th century, the Chinese invented gunpowder and later used it to fuel small rockets to be used in battle. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Russian scientist Konstantin Teleskov developed a theory of rocket spaceflight that involved using liquid fuel that would be ignited in several stages. In March of 1926, American scientist Robert H. Goddard successfully launched a liquid-fueled rocket. In October of 1942, the liquid-fueled long-range V-2 missile was launched for the first time. Developed by German scientist Wernher von Braun, the V-2 was a 12-ton rocket that could carry a 1-ton warhead. Later, it was used by the Germans against the British during the last years of World War II. In May of 1946, the WAC Corporal became the first American-designed rocket to reach the edge of space. In October of 1946, a V-2 rocket took the first photographs of Earth from an altitude of 65 miles.